Today we're going to be taking a look at my PlayStation 1 game collection. Now, I've done a few of these game collection videos in the past, and the whole goal with these collection videos is, well, I used to have a bunch of games when I was a kid. I sold those games in order to buy new games, and so I don't really have any of my original PlayStation 1 games from my original collection, and so I've been trying to rebuild my PlayStation 1 game collection, but I'm not trying to go after every single PlayStation 1 game in existence. That's kind of nuts for me personally. I'm just trying to add games to my collection that I used to have, or games that I wish I had when I was a kid, or games that I've discovered as an adult now, just doing research and kind of saying, that looks cool, I want to try it out, add it to my collection. Without further ado, let's actually take a look at the collection. Alrighty, so let's actually take a look at the collection. There aren't too many, like I said before, but I'm very happy with all the ones that I have currently. There are a few that I think I've got some aftermarket repro cases, but this is the first game here. This is Final Fantasy IX, of course. We got the front here and the back. And this one I'm pretty sure, I didn't realize this at the time when I made my purchase, but I'm pretty sure this is a repro case or an aftermarket case. I don't think this is the original case. The black divider here is pretty it's like a deep black, which is different from some of the other cases I have. So I'm pretty sure this is not an original case, so I might need to do something about this. So it's something to keep in mind if you're looking around at these PlayStation 1 games. Just keep note of it, but I'm pretty sure this is a case that's replaced. Obviously, Final Fantasy, amazing series. Final Fantasy IX, where does it sort of sit between 7 and 8? I think it's pretty dang good. I think it's better than 8 for me. To be fair though, 8 gets a lot of hate because it came after 7 and 7 was so incredible. And everybody loves 7, right? Yeah, we're gonna see 8 in here as well, but I do love 9. I think 9's fantastic. I'm looking forward to whenever they decide to remaster this one. All right, next here is a game actually I replayed and I forgot how much I enjoyed. It's the X-Files, so if you're a fan of the show, I used to watch this show a bunch with my dad as a kid growing up. So I do, I'm a big fan of the X-Files. I do enjoy it. And so I can't remember when I first played this game, but I remember, I had a good time with it, revisited it, had a good time with it as well. It's more like point and click. You're kind of doing some exploration. They've got footage of the actors from X-Files doing scenes in this game. It's pretty cool, actually, the fact that they were able to get the regular cast members, the original cast members, to do this game. I think it adds something to the experience. They didn't just phone it in. It's pretty fun, it's pretty interesting, and for the time, it was a very unique experience, so very happy to have this back in my collection once again. Definitely check it out if you're interested, and if you are a fan of X-Files, it's a good game. They did a good job with, I think, making it feel like you were going through these mysteries as well. These main cases, I should say. So, good game. Okay, next here, this is Final Fantasy VIII. I've already talked about this one a little bit, how I think it gets a little bit too much hate. Unfortunately, I'm a little bummed about this one. I don't know why I didn't get the one with the manual. Now I gotta go get a manual for this thing. So this is not complete, it's missing a manual. So that was dumb me doing a dumb thing when I bought this. It was really cheap, and I don't know. For some reason, there are a lot of games at this one booth I was looking at, and I just added this to the pile, and I didn't realize there was no manual to this thing, so I'm stupid, but what are you gonna do? Yeah, Final Fantasy VIII gets a lot of hate. I think that, again, the fact that it followed 7 doesn't really do it any favors, but I do like this game. Some of the story is hit or miss for me with how it's told, I should say. I like the characters, like the core characters, and I enjoy the gameplay, but it is really hard to hold up 8 next to 7 and not just be like, okay, yeah, 7's way better than this game. There's still a lot to appreciate, a lot to love here, and I would say if you've never played 8, I think there's a PlayStation 4 remaster of 8. You're better off playing that version, I'm sure. I don't know personally, but I would imagine it's a better version than this. Maybe they'll do a remake, I doubt it. This doesn't really have the acclaim as 7 or even 9 at this point. So yeah, maybe take the remaster on a PlayStation 4, or maybe it's probably on Steam too, I'd imagine. But it's still a good time, still a good game. I'd check it out. Okay, next I've done a few videos about this game in particular. This is Koudelka. This is a horror RPG. It is very unique, very cool game. I'm a big fan of how different it is. And it's one of those games where PlayStation 1 without a doubt has some of the most memorable, like iconic horror games. You know, PlayStation 1 was one of those consoles where it seemed like there were more horror games than like anything else, which is kind of cool. Right, you got like Parasite Eve 1 and 2, Resident Evil, like you've got some cool stuff on here for sure. But you know, Koudelka is different in the sense that it's a turn-based RPG. Doesn't really rely on the survival horror sort of mechanics or the sort of traditional survival horror genre that maybe we're more accustomed to. It's very different from that. It's a game that I've done several videos on the channel, and it's a game that I'm a little conflicted on. I do think it's very unique. It incorporated things like motion capture, which was not standard at all at the time when this was made. So it's a very cool, very you know, lovingly created game. But you know, there's just some issues that I have with it. At the end of the day, I totally recommend you checking it out because it is very different from a lot of the games at the time and even some of the stuff that we see nowadays in the horror genre. Does that make it a good game? Not necessarily, but it doesn't, you know, it took a lot of risks, and I do appreciate a lot of the creative choices that were made with this game, and I'm happy to have it in my collection for sure, because the best thing about this game would happen to be the characters and the voice acting and all of the cinematics I thought were amazing. So if you're into that stuff, check it out. Yeah, it's definitely a good, unique game, and I'm happy that I have it in the collection. Okay, next here is a RPG. We've got Wild Arms here. That's the front there, and that's the back. I feel like most people know about Wild Arms. It's a pretty well-known PlayStation 1 game in terms of, you know, just PlayStation 1 games in general, and then just also the RPGs on the PlayStation 1 console. Is it my favorite? No, it's not my favorite. There are a lot of things that I admire about the game. I do enjoy the game. I played it on PlayStation 5. It's one of the PlayStation Plus premium games, so I played it. And you know, I do enjoy it. There's another RPG for the PlayStation 1 that I love far more than this, and I personally think that it gets a little less notoriety or recognition when it, you know, compared to Wild Arms. I feel like most people know what Wild Arms is, and you know, they've heard the name. But the other RPG that I'm gonna talk about in a little bit, I do like it way more than this. Different games, different types of stories, but overall, really enjoyed Wild Arms. It's not my favorite, but it's still pretty solid. Okay, next here is Wild Arms 2, and you can see the front here. So Wild Arms 2, I didn't really expect it to be much of a departure from the first game. This is the registration card, just like flopping around. But it is. It's a little different from the first game. Not some, you know, the mechanics and the combat systems, all that stuff is pretty much the same. In terms of where the story picks up and kind of who you follow throughout the adventure, didn't expect it to kind of go that route. I actually like Wild Arms 2 quite a bit. The only thing I can't stand with Wild Arms 2, and to the first game to some degree, is the pinging system, where you basically like walk around the map, you hit this like ping button, and it reveals certain environmental like objects. So if you're like pinging on the world map, you'll ping and find like a new camp to go and, you know, settle down in. There's too much of that. There's too much of you walking around pinging the environment to find things and then you explore or whatever. So not a big fan of that, but overall I like Wild Arms 2. I can't say if I liked it more or about the same as the first game, but I do think it's comparable to just the good and the bad with, you know, with the first Wild Arms. But I you know what, that's a lie. I think the first Wild Arms is better. But I didn't dislike Wild Arms 2, but there's some, mainly the pinging mechanic I thought got a little too annoying for my personal taste, but you know, that's it. This is Wild Arms 2 though. Next here is a very 90s game. It's a game that I never played until recently. I found out about this game through a YouTube channel called Dungeon Chill, I think is the channel. I'll link it in the description. But he did a whole video on this game, and it seemed very interesting to the point where I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. I'm gonna see if I can find it. This game is a lot harder to find than I thought it would be, and it fetches a higher price than I thought, and I was very taken aback by how much this one cost. I just didn't expect it, I guess. But this is Galerians right here, and the best way I could explain it is that imagine playing as Eleven from Stranger Things. That's basically what this is. You've got these psychokinetic powers, and the main sort of gameplay loop here is that, you know, you use these powers. If you get too angry, it has negative effects on the character, and so you're just kind of maneuvering through this facility trying to escape while also grappling with your powers, your psychokinetic powers that you have at your disposal. Cool ideas. I love the cinematics. They are super edgelord. they're very funny, especially going back to it nowadays. But the gameplay is a little frustrating at times. Wasn't 100% a fan of the gameplay at times, but I do appreciate how different the experience was and how unique of a game it is. And that's initially what drew me in when I saw the video that was detailing about this game, what it is, and how it's played. That interested me enough to go and seek it out. So maybe check it out, see if it interests you. But it's different enough that I liked it, and I would recommend you check it out if you can find it for a decent price. Next is a game that I haven't played yet, and I really want to try this out. This is Legend of Legaia. This is an RPG as well. And the biggest thing with this one is, the thing that drew me in with this game is that it's like an RPG, but you're stringing together fighting moves, fighting combos. So you'll string together like high kick, low punch, and that's sort of those are your methods of attack. So think about like a fighting game mixed with an RPG. Definitely check out some gameplay footage for this one just to see what I'm talking about, but that's probably the best way to describe it, is fighting game mixed with an RPG system. And I actually really think that from a gameplay perspective, it looks very fun, very kinetic. And so at some point I want to check this one out. I recently added this one to my collection. I've been looking for a decent copy of this game for several months now. I finally found a good enough listing to where I was like, yeah, I'll buy this one. But overall, Legend of Legaia, I've heard a lot of good things about it. Definitely want to check this one out. Let me know if you played this one in the comments below. Okay, next here is the RPG that I was alluding to that I prefer over Wild Arms. This is Legend of Dragoon, and I've talked about this on the channel before. The first time I actually played this game was on the PlayStation 5 on PlayStation Plus. So I never originally played this game. This is something that I played years later. And so I don't know if that sort of colored my opinion of the game differently than something like Wild Arms, but I really love this game. This is a game that I really wish Sony would do something with. Obviously they won't. They seemingly are just shutting down a bunch of their studios and they just don't know what the heck they're doing, but I would love to see this game come back in some way, some shape or form, some way, remaster, remake, whatever. It probably won't, but this game for sure is one of my favorite RPGs that I've played. Really love it. I love the cutscenes. I'm a big fan of Dart, the lead character. The central story interested me. The characters were interesting to me. I enjoyed the combat system, which if you've played something like Clair Obscur, I think a lot of people kind of see Clair Obscur as doing a lot of things, right? Like revolutionary things. But to be honest with you, this game has a lot of similarities to where, you'll initiate an attack and then you'll have to push buttons like square, triangle, X. You have to, press those with certain timing to ensure that you get the biggest combo possible from your moves. So it's cool kind of seeing things like that in such an old game like Legend of Dragoon. But yeah, I highly recommend check this out. Please check this out. It is really good. I feel like it maybe needs a little bit more love. So just check it out, please, you won't regret it. Okay, next here is a game that I haven't had a chance to play yet. This is Vandal Hearts 2. Specifically, I did a little bit of research here. It's an RPG as well. But I did some research and a lot of people online were saying Vandal Hearts 2 was the better of the two games. So I went ahead and just checked out 2. If the second one's good, I might be interested in checking out the first game. It really just depends on if it piques my curiosity or not. But for now, I've got Vandal Hearts 2 here. I will probably at some point check this one out. But yeah, this is something I haven't tried yet. Just kind of some initial research, looked interesting enough, and then people online were like, go for 2 instead of 1. So this is why, yeah, so I got 2. And that's Vandal Hearts. Okay, next here is one of my favorite games on the console. It's a horror game. It is the one and only Parasite Eve here. So yeah, I love Parasite Eve. I feel like I've talked about this game on the channel a few times as well. And I don't really know much more, what more I can really say about this game. This is one of those things where come Halloween time, I'll pop this in and play this. Love the story, I love the cutscene direction, the animation work, the combat system. It all fits really well for this. It's more, I guess it is more of like an RPG horror experience, but not in the same way that Koudelka is. This is more like action RPG, right? So the combat does feel tense. The encounters feel tense, I should say. There's a bit of an urgency to the combat in the game, so that's what kind of lends its hand to the horror aspects with the combat. Like it just works well. Please check this out. I don't really know of any methods to play this game that isn't just, you know, going on your PlayStation 3 and downloading the digital version of this game. But obviously, if you own a copy, you can emulate it. But I don't really know if Square is going to ever do a remaster or a remake of this game. It would be cool if they did. But if they don't, maybe try and dust off your PlayStation 3 if you have one and just buy this digitally. But definitely check it out. It is very good. I do love this game quite a bit. Okay, next here is Crash Bash. This is basically Crash Bandicoot Mario Party Fusion. And I love this game. I used to play this game so much as a kid. I used to play it so much. There's a pogo stick mini game, there's a tanks mini game, there's a polar bear mini game. There's a bunch in here. This copy that I got was like $5. It's a little beat up. The case is nasty. I've tried to clean the residue off, didn't really come off. It's a greatest hits, which I don't love. If I can help it, I'd rather not get a greatest hits. But you know, aside from that, I love Crash Bash. I know it's kind of like, people kind of trash on this game. It's a knockoff Mario Party, right? It's like kind of, I don't know, I had a good time with it. I played this a ton as a kid. I just remember it fondly. I wanted to have it back in the collection just because, again, I played it all the time as a kid and I'm like, you know, I had a good time with it. I'd like to just have it as part of the collection. So yeah, that's Crash Bash. Okay, next here is, unironically, it's one of my favorites on the PlayStation 1. This is Frogger 2 Swampy's Revenge. This game, when I bought this game, I saw this, I think it was like $5 or $10 or something. When I bought this, I kid you not, I rushed home. I finished up work for the day and I popped this into my PlayStation 3 and I just played for a few hours. And you know what? It still, in my opinion, it still holds up. I used to play this a ton as a kid as well, and I had a good time with it. And I was like, maybe this game hasn't aged well. Maybe I'm misremembering this game. Maybe it sucks. No, I had a good time with it. I had a good time with this game. I thought there were some really fun, inventive levels. They try to weave in a story there, which is like, you know, not like a huge sprawling story, but it's there, it's funny, it's silly, it's a Frogger game, right? What are they gonna do? But yeah, I really like this game. And I mean this with all sincerity, like this is actually a pretty fun game. My partner and I were swapping off playing this game because she'd never played it before, and she had a good time with it too. It's just fun, it's a good time, so I'm happy that this is in the collection again. Next is, I love this game. It got a remaster. I believe Limited Run Games did the remaster. So if you haven't played, this might not be coming up on camera here. This is Fear Effect. I'm not sure if it's coming up. It looks like it is. But yeah, so Fear Effect, there are 2 games. I've got the second game in the collection here as well. I'm gonna pop this out of the case. This is a new game, just so you can see it a little bit better here. It's new, it's still in the seal. I played this game a while back, and I wanted to get like a new copy because I just like the first game a lot. I think when I first played this game, it was so different and so cinematic and just really cool. And so when I saw this, there's some minor scuffings on the actual case, which is unfortunate. But when I saw that this was a new copy of the game and it was relatively, you know, it was decently priced, I was like, I want to get that because I really like this first game a lot. It made me think about how games can be cinematic and can tell like big sprawling stories. It was just like a very formative game for me. So I'm glad that there's a remake, or I should say a remaster. Again, Limited Run Games has the remaster. You can get it for, I think, $10 on PlayStation Network, and it might be on Switch. I would have to check. But for sure, you can get this game digitally right now for like $10, and you can actually get both Fear Effect 1 and Fear Effect 2 digitally for $10 each. So I would recommend it. I 100% would recommend you guys check out Fear Effect, and I also think the sequel is pretty damn good too. Okay, next here is Vanguard Bandits. Now this one I haven't played yet, but I've been looking for this game for quite some time. This is Working Design, so they're the studio that did the Lunar games, the Lunar RPGs. I just love the hand-drawn animation. That's the manual. But I just love like all the animation work that are part of these Working Design games. I think the Lunar franchise looks incredible. Both the pixel art work and the 2D work, the other 2D work, I should say. And so I wanted to check this one out. Again, I found like a decent, I think this might be a little aftermarket case here, but the game disc was in good shape and the manual was in good shape. So I was like, yeah, why not? It's been on my list for a while. I haven't been able to find like a decent eBay listing for this game. that wasn't like a crazy price, and I found this at a good price at a local shop, so I was like, yeah, I'll get it. I'll try it out. This is on my list to play at some point. I'm very excited to check it out. And yeah, that's Vanguard Bandits. Okay, next here is a very interesting RPG. This is Thousand Arms. This is an Atlas RPG right here. So this is the front and this is the back. This one's cool because it's a dating sim essentially mixed in with an RPG. So you can see Atlas was already dipping their toes into that space in PlayStation 1. I mean, I guess Persona's not really like a dating sim. They're more, you know, life sim and RPG. But you get the idea. So basically there are these different characters that you can romance in this game, and then based on the characters that you go on dates with and romance, you get different abilities, different move sets for your character, your main character. It's a cool idea for a game. It's very novel, very unique. I wouldn't say it's the best thing in the world, but it gets tons of points for being unique and just very different from some of the other stuff that's out there. So that alone, cool game. Very different, I like it. You should check it out if that sounds of any interest to you. Okay, next here, this was actually Chocobo's Dungeon 2. This was actually, I think I got this game for free, I wanna say, because I had bought like a few games from one vendor and he ended up just giving me this for free. So I tried it out and I could see why he gave it to me for free. I don't like this game. To me, I just don't think it's fun to play mechanically. It just feels like old. I know it's like weird to say, these are all old games, but I didn't enjoy playing it, is what I should say. If the first game's any better, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to maybe check out the first game. There's just something about 2 that I just didn't feel any enjoyment while playing it. There was any sort of sense of reward that I grasped from it. So. Not for me, but it's cool that he just gave it to me. Didn't expect that, but yeah, I mean, this is, I really don't have much to say about this game, to be honest with you. It's like, yeah, it's here, I tried it, not for me, but you know, that's life. And this is Chocobo's Dungeon 2. Next here is the last game that I've got, and this is Fear Effect 2 Retro Helix. Again, you can get this game digitally for like 10 bucks right now. On PlayStation Store and maybe Switch. I don't know if it's on Switch. Registration cards, flapping it out. And yeah, I think both of the Fear Effect games are great. I think the animation works awesome. The cutscene direction's great. The voice acting is solid, even for, you know, at the time, I thought it was pretty good. But yeah, they're both great games. I like the second game about as much as I like the first game, but the first game, it just holds a special place in my heart because I hadn't played anything quite like it at the time, and so for that reason, it means more to me than maybe like the sequel, for example. But still, Retro Helix is great. Both of the Fear Effect games are great. Please check both of them out, or the first game out at the very least. You won't regret it, they're awesome. Well, that's gonna do it for today. Which game should I add to my collection next? Which game should I be on the lookout for? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you all on the next video.